Hiya guys, thanks for tuning in. Welcome to the channel. I've got a product review for you today from a company called Aerocraft Models. If you go into Google, search Aerocraft Models, you'll see the website come up. Quite an interesting, diverse little range of products in resin and cast metal, some clear casting as well. Basically, it's a one-man band. It's Alistair, and he's got a diverse range of products, so go take a look. There's some really interesting stuff on there. What I'm going to review today is a set of undercarriage legs for the Kitty Hawk OV-10 AC Bronco that I'm building. This set also applies to the D model as well. So why brass, why Aerocraft? Well, we can use the white metal undercarriage legs like we all see and know and love. If you go back a couple of months, you'll see I did a review of some undercarriage legs from Aerocraft, and I did a comparison with them with some white metal legs. And white metal legs are great, but they're very, very soft. They just bend out of shape and stuff, and you can bend them back, but they're not very rigid. The plastic's probably more rigid than the white metal. The only difference is the plastic will snap, whereas the white metal will bend. So as you know, I've done a lot of modifications to this, and I've made the wing quite hefty, so I want some decent undercarriage. Now, one of the biggest problems with the Bronco is the actual design of the undercarriage itself. It's designed for rough landings on rough ground, so it's got quite a big pivot in the main landing gear. You can see this is the main landing gear here, and you've basically got, this is the pivot, and this is the shock absorber. So when you actually put your model down, all of the weight is sitting on that pin there, which just wants to twist that around, but it also wants to just do that. It wants to twist that around. So you can see that basically there's a lot of effort going into that little joint there. Okay, then with the same with the nose gear, you've got the wheel pivot here, and it's actually mounted up here. So you've got all that load is actually on this little pin here, and it will just bend and snap eventually. So yeah, it's worth getting some decent undercarriage for it. So what you get comes in a lovely little cardboard box that goes through a letterbox, and then you've got a little bubble wrap bag inside, and then inside there we've got a bag of brass components. If I just pour these out, I have been playing, I have done some fettling, and I have made one up. Now you get a set of instructions probably sent to you via email, and it's basically, you can read that on there, and it's telling you what to do. Basically with the nose gear it's fairly simple. With the kit parts, you get, this comes in two parts. There's a join in here, and then that slots up in there, and then this goes up into the nose gear bay like so. Have I got the right way around? Yes. So that goes up in the nose, no, it's the wrong way around. So that goes up in the nose gear bay like so. Okay, like that. So basically, when you actually put your aircraft down, that's what you've got. You've actually got a leg going here which will help support, but you've still got all that leverage is on that point there, and it will just eventually snap off. Whereas if we compare that to the Aerocraft metal parts, now it's the same again. This slots in here. Okay, this is one piece, you don't have to do any joining. There will be some nubs and stuff you've got to remove. Now I don't think that's a nub there, I think that's actually supposed to be there. There's a nub on the side here which I've cut off and filed. You could basically use a razor saw and file, but it is very hard brass, so it takes a bit of work to cut, but it's well worth it at the end of the day. And then when that goes in there, that will just slot into those holes there, and then we've got it wants to come out because I haven't quite filed it down to fit properly, but basically we've got a very, very rigid, if I support it there, you can see we've got a very, very rigid undercarriage that I cannot bend for the life of me. So once you've got that leg in there, and this is firmly glued in, that's not going anywhere. One other thing, the kit tells you to put the undercarriage in as you're building the model. You don't need to, you can leave it to the end. And these fit very tightly, and I wonder if you could actually fit these in so tight that you could actually remove them to transport the model to shows and stuff. So have to wait and see. So yeah, I mean, you compare the plastic here to the metal gear there, and you can see straight away. I mean, you've got this little bit on the bottom here which the model part doesn't come with, and you've got some nicer detail. I would say there's some nicer detail on the metal leg than there is on the plastic one. The moulding on the plastic one is kind of softer. Yeah, so let's look at the other side. You can see there, and then looking at the back, you see there. Okay, so I personally think this is a must for this kit, purely because of the design of the undercarriage. I mean, all the leverage on there is on that pivot, and then also you've got a lot of leverage here on this leg as well. Because the undercarriage is made in one piece, what you do is you have to drill the wheel, and then Alistair gives you a piece of brass rod that goes in there and you cut to size, and that's your axle. So you've also got a metal axle in there as well, so that's another strong point. So that's the nose gear covered. Now we look at the main landing gear. As I showed you earlier, these are the plastic parts here, and they're not glued together admittedly, but once they were glued together, that would be under tension here, this joint that's flexing, but also it's twisting. So when we put the undercarriage in, it's this way, you can see it goes in like that, and this leg's just hanging in midair, and then you've got all that leverage acting on that there. Okay, so when that's glued, that's under tension, and also you've got all the twisting motion because of the way the axle is designed as well. So with the metal gear, unfortunately I can't put it in because I'll show you these separate parts first. If you see on here, these are the actual sprue nibs. So what you need to do is cut them off. You need a big pair of cutters or something, and then a diamond file just to file it away and get it all to fit. You may find you have to give these a little tweak apart or back together because they'll be slightly bent perhaps from the casting, and then there might be a little kink in that or a little twist, but it's all correctable. But it's very, very strong. It does go, it won't snap, but it's very, very strong, much stronger than the white metal equivalents. And these are actually, as you can see, they're two pieces, and they're designed to slot together so that they go in like this. You've got two pivots on the bottom, and they will fit into two little cutouts in the leg there. It's basically the same as the kit parts, but without the join in the middle. And then that goes in there like that, and then you've got a pivot here. So here's one I've assembled already, and this pivot will go in through here, I believe, or does it go on the other side? It does go in, and then that gives you an extremely strong undercarriage leg that's not going to go anywhere. I mean, I can't flex that at all. You can see I'm holding it here. I can't twist it or anything. I can pull it apart, but yeah, it's a must. I mean, if you look at the design of that, the leverage there, it's just crazy. You'll also notice, as he says in his instructions, he's got rid of the rear locating peg. For here, you've got the peg that locates the undercarriage door. Well, funny enough, Edartay will do the same thing, and there's the undercarriage door there, and Alistair's suggesting you extend it slightly. I've looked at the Edard set. Unfortunately, you've got a lovely detailed door with all the interior detail and everything, but they haven't extended it, so it'll still be too short. But you know, whatever. So yeah, there we have it, guys. And the wheel will basically fit on there the same as it did, so you haven't got to worry about any axles or anything for the back. You've just got this piece of tubing for those two pivots, one there, one there. Sorry, you've got one on there, and then you've got your axle for the front, which is over here. And the other thing to note as well, Kitty Hawk have made this swivel the wrong way around, so when the leg goes in, you can see that that swivel, that point there, is the wrong way around. It should be, when you look at the way the Aerocraft parts are made, it should be that way around. And if you look on the instructions here, you can see he's added a piece of plastic for that to just slot over, just to give it a bit more rigidity. But those square mounting pegs, the way they fit in there, they're absolutely solid. So like I say, so there we are, guys. That is the kit there. So you've got your two pieces for the front, you've got your piece of brass tube, you've got a pair of rears here, or a pair of mains should I say, like that. So that is your set, and with the instructions that you may get emailed to. I'm not sure, he emailed them to me. I'm not sure if he normally folds them up and puts them in the box or not, But these are available, like I say, from Aerocraft Models, and they're £25 a set. And you know, when you look at the price of the alternative white metal gear, I think these are a bargain. As you can see now, that one there that you see, that one's slightly raised, so one of these needs to be straightened out. So I'll look into that now. I think it's that one that's straight. It needs to be pulled back, but you can absolutely bend it as hard as you like, and it's really, really tough, really strong. Once your model's made, they're not going anywhere. You know, you could push down and break the wings off and the undercarriage will still be there. So there we have it, guys. Thanks for watching. And I am actually building this online. Part 3 is about to go up, and part 4 is pretty much filmed now. So, and I'm also working on the Airfix 1/24 Hellcat in between, so that one's taking priority at the moment. So yeah, so I will do a build of these, and I will show you how I remove the nibs and how I fit them. I mean, I've just spent 10 minutes fettling this one to go in and everything. As with all cast metal, you know, you've always got to do some fettling to make them fit. That's the nature of the beast, unfortunately. If the manufacturers made it so that nothing needed fettling, you would get the odd part that's got so much play in it, you'd be moaning about the play in it. So there we go, guys. Aerocraft Models 1/32 scale Bronco undercarriage for Kitty Hawk kit. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.